This is
Hello,
part
IARBs,
2 of
IARCer,
the
and
video
Taken.
falling short of the glory of
Another
God.
day. It's beautiful. So I want to start out just by saying I hope everyone has a blessed day today or is having a blessed day today. Today, I'm not going to fall. My last video, if anybody watched it, you saw me fall. And I talked specifically about falling and picking yourself back up and not just sitting there. And how God does not just allow us to fall and keep us down. Have you ever been in a situation where you actually trip and fall? Most of us get back up. If we're too injured to get back up, of course, we're going to call an ambulance or call out for somebody to help us. We're not just going to sit there and continue to just be injured. People kind of can feel when they're going to fall. You just don't, you're just not standing and then you're on the ground. I mean, it happens so fast, it may seem like you're standing and you're on the ground, but you kind of feel yourself trip or stumble. So most of us cannot catch ourselves in time. We end up falling. You can't, you just, it happens. Once you get into that point where you are falling to the point of no return, you're going to fall. There are some times now, though, when you do start falling, you can catch yourself and get back on track and get back on your feet. And and that's a good feeling when you don't fall. And then next time, whatever caused you to fall, either pick it off the floor or don't go around that same area anymore, to not put yourself in that situation where you may fall again. In the situations where you do fall, when you are actually on the ground, gravity took you where you didn't want to go. In situations like that, how are you going to get back up? Are you going to just sit there and think about it? Are you going to cry? Because crying, it may help, but it's not going to pick you back up. It's definitely not going to lift you. It's definitely not going to get you where you need to go. It's definitely not going to get you to a hospital if you need to get to a hospital. Unfortunately, we have all sinned and fall short of the glory of God. So when that happens, do you have two things to do? Like I said, you could either sit there, but no one's going to do that. Usually, you can pout. Um, you can think about how your life is miserable, how you're never going to get back up, how this has ruined your life, how, you can do all that. But the better thing to do is start praying, start asking God for help, get back on the track. If you're a church member, call upon your church leaders to kind of help you. But I do want to say one thing regarding that. In Galatians 6:1, it does state that we are to help those that are in trouble, that have fallen, that need our help. But one of the many things you have to do is you have to be careful, because that person getting up, that person holding you, pulling on you to get up, that person may actually end up pulling you down, tempting you into that same temptation that that other person's in. The exact quote of that is in Galatians 6:1, brothers and sisters, if someone is caught in a sin, you who live by the Spirit shall restore that person gently. But watch yourselves, or you may also be tempted. That is Galatians 6:1. So even though you may be a strong spirit, I don't know if anybody had ever seen that movie Exorcist, or that I couldn't watch it. I just never could watch that movie. It's too scary, and I don't like scary movies. But anyway, and I can't even remember which one it was, but I probably peeked it, seen a preview or something, or someone told me. I'm not exactly sure how I know, but I didn't watch it. I just, oh my goodness. Anyway, so that person who was possessed, he had to preach to come on there and pray, spray the water and all this other stuff. Well, that demon said, you know what? You're no competition for me. That water ain't that holy water ain't holy enough. And you know what that devil did? That devil jumped into the spirit of that priest and took him down. Now you got two people that need to be lifted up. So all I'm saying is just be careful. You need to be prayed up before you go and help somebody else. I mean, when I say prayed up, you need to be strong. You need to be ready for whatever that other person's dealing with. You need to make sure that God has delivered you from that completely and fully, and not just you're just barely coming off from that, you need to make sure that it's real, that your strength is strong, that you, in God and the way He has already lifted and delivered you. You need to make sure that you're strong in that area before you go and you help someone else or try to help someone else. Other than that, you'll be tempted and be right there with them. Then both of you guys will be calling somebody for help. Help! I fall and I can't get up. Don't want that. Okay. But that person that has fallen, it is a good thing to get around other Christian people, people who can help you. It's good to pray. Sometimes when you are at that point when you've fallen, you don't want nobody. You don't want no one to know. You don't want no one to know. You don't want everybody to know that you've fallen, and now people are looking at you and are gonna judge you. And those who are helping, don't judge people, because it even says that in the Bible. God's the only one that's supposed to be judging. So don't judge no one. There are kids around here playing. I'm at a park. I don't even know. This is the first time I've been to this park. But what I'm trying to say is, if you have fallen short, don't just sit there. Get up, call your church members. If you don't go to church, there's all prayer lines. There's numbers you can call. There's people that you can talk to who will actually help you get through that. And don't be ashamed. And say you just don't want to call on your church members. Go ahead and call that hotline. Somewhere where you can get help. Don't try to do that by yourself, because most of the time when you have fallen, you can't get up by yourself. And I'm gonna show that clip where I had actually fell and I couldn't get up by myself. I needed help. And if that person helping me, which was my daughter, she's 22 years old. So guess what? She is not that strong. She actually struggled helping me up. I edited it so you didn't see how much I struggled getting up and her trying to help me get up, because my knees are bad. And I'm going to put that clip in here to show you, to give you an example of trying to get up and somebody helping you and how they can fall. She did not fall. She pulled and she helped me up, but it could have been a situation where she fell and then we would both be on the ground. But in that situation, she held out her hand. I said, I need help. I said, I can't get up by myself. She held out her hand, and she helped me. She knew that I was she's little tiny. She's only 5 feet tall, and I won't say how much she weighs, but she don't weigh that much. And she reached out her hand and she helped me. She didn't think about it. She didn't think, oh my gosh, you know what? You are too heavy for me to lift up. She didn't think that way. you know um she actually pulled out her hand and she struggled a little bit, but she helped me up. And like I said, if it's a situation where you are not strong enough, if say for example she couldn't have helped me up, then she probably would have had to call an ambulance or maybe call somebody who was a little bit stronger than her to get me up, to make a long story short on that one. Oh my hand. I can sit here, but I'm not, because there's a dog poop on the ground. Oh, I'm trying to. But in situations like I'm saying, if you have fallen and you need help, there's always help everywhere. There's help from so many sources. There's help from churches. There's um sometimes God brings people along that we don't even expect. And when that person asks you if you want some prayer, your best thing is to say yes, because God has brought that person along to pray for you. And God can see our future before we ever see it. It could be a situation where um, you are going to go into a bad area and end up getting somebody harming you. You don't want that kind of situation. So if that person is praying for you, God probably told that person to pray for you because it prevented you from going in that area, or it prevented you to leave, or it protected you while you were in that area. God does protect us while we fall, when we're on that ground, when we're falling, when we no longer can lift ourselves up and we're being stubborn and don't want to lift ourselves up. Believe it or not, God is there to help us. He sends different sources to protect us. He sends different sources to guide us and lead us. He whispers into us. He yells at us. A lot of times we don't listen when we're in those situations. We don't accept help. It's a struggle that we don't want to do it by ourselves, but it's a struggle that we're in denial or we're too ashamed to ask for help. one or the other. Make sure you don't go to that struggle alone. Make sure when you fall short of the glory of God, when you sin, when you are guided into different directions, when the devil has tempted you and made you his play toy, took you where he wanted to, when you start looking back to where you were and thinking that back is better than forward, when you start doing that, start recognizing. Another thing is when I mentioned earlier, when you feel yourself tripping, move that object out of the way. But don't only move that object out of the way, make sure that you clear the entire area. That means in situations where you're falling short of the glory of God, that means reading your Bible. That means maybe having other people pray over you. That means focusing a little bit more on what you need to do. Because usually when we're about to trip and fall, it's usually a sign that that area, our environment, our path is not where it needs to be. It's not clear. It's going in a different direction. It's something that just is not a good situation. I just wanted to bring that little message to y'all and to leave a message that, Micah 7:8 from the Bible, Micah 7:8. Don't gloat over me, my enemy. Though I have fallen, I will rise. The Lord will be my light. Remember that. When life is lifing, keep on living. I'm out.